All right, my name is Brian Tessier, and today what I'm going to take you through is, could you live here, Edgewater, Miami, Florida? So there are a lot of places in the Florida area, in the Miami area specifically, little boroughs, townships, little cities, little breakoffs, etc. And I wanted to hit each one because if you were considering relocating into Miami, you can only do so much research on Google. So I've been taking the time to go and stay at a hotel or an Airbnb or a VRBO in each one of these places, get some real world experience of what each place is like. Edgewater is one of the hottest up-and-coming areas in the Miami metro area, we'll call it. So it is bounded to the east by Biscayne Bay. Biscayne Bay is a place I know well. I boat there a lot. I choose, so you can go in the bay if you're on a boat, which is obviously flat and protected from waves, or you can go out one of the inlets or outlets and get onto the ocean. So you have Edgewater touches Biscayne Bay, and for this reason, it had, and during the last construction boom, not the one we're in now, we're in a super boom now. One of the construction booms previous to this a couple years ago, developers were drawn to Edgewater because of these breathtaking views, the proximity to Wynwood, which is what it touches. Brickell is one of the hottest inner city areas of Miami, and it's also one of the priciest, and it's also one of the most congested. Edgewater is nice because you can get to Brickell easily, minus the traffic, and not have to pay the high prices of the condos or apartments for rent, or heck, I've even Airbnb'd there and the numbers are astronomical. So I had mentioned Wynwood, the design district. It's also close to downtown Miami, and South Beach is right across the bridge. So I had mentioned those cities, which is close to Edgewater, and I am going to do a vlog on each one of those. I've already done the Wynwood one, so you're going to want to come back for that. I was going to stick a cost of living in this video, but at the time of production, I've decided I'm going to do a cost of living comparing Wynwood, which is the next video, Edgewood, which is the one you're watching now, maybe the design district as well, and do a cost of living comparing them, and maybe even Brickell. I haven't quite decided, so you're gonna wanna also come back for that. Now, something I'm gonna probably mention in all of my Florida videos, and that is Florida is a no income tax state. So you don't pay any income tax there. Now, you do have to have that as your primary residence, and you do have to have a business in Florida. I've seen plenty of people try to have as a second home and try to get the tax advantage, or even like in a primary home, but their businesses in Wisconsin, Pittsburgh, Colorado, and accountants will they will go against your decision of trying to take advantage of the tax man. So you don't want to mess with the tax man. So something interesting is Florida ranks 49th in accessibility and affordability out of the 50 states. So that's something to consider. It definitely is more expensive to live in the state of Florida, but obviously the closer you get to the edges of the water, the values go up. Everything, home values go up, so the price to eat goes up, price of groceries goes up, etc. All right, so let's just get into it. Enough talking about Florida, blah, 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 blah. So what is there to do in Edgewater? There is something called MOCA, M-O-C-A, which actually stands for the Museum of Contemporary Art. There are something like, there's a collection of over, I think it's 500 works, and this is a combination of local artists, national artists, and even international contemporary arts. Now, Miami is a very trendy town, so it's a lot of modern and contemporary. So something interesting is the last Friday of every month, MOCA has a free jazz concert that starts at 8. They do take donations. I absolutely love jazz. It wasn't until I got into my older age, 40s that is, before I finally slowed down and added jazz into my musical Rolodex, so to speak. So if you're into jazz, I mean, Miami's a big arts music town. Edgewater's MOCA has it every Friday at 8 p.m. Let me know if you're going. I'd like to meet you there. And so the last thing I want to talk to you about as far as MOCA is sometimes they have like a like an artist tour, so to speak. So in some of the bigger cities, there was something called bodies, where they brought these bodies through and they were there for a period of time, couple months, etc. So MOCA will have international artists. They'll invite them in, bring their works in, and have them there for a predetermined amount of time. It could range from a couple weeks or a couple months. So if you're following a specific international art collector, you may be able to catch them at MOCA. I would check out their website and their schedule. So briefly, I want to talk about the new Deco Ensemble as far as things to do in Edgewater. And it started in, I think, 2015. And what it is it's a concert orchestra, so to speak, that has local artists, and it has even hosted some major artists such as Ben Folds, Daft Punk, and huge artist Macy Gray. So you're going to want to check that. If you're into music, you're going to want to check out the new Deco Ensemble. Something else to do that has been around for a while is the Miami Women's Club. Now, this was founded in the early 1900s by Henry Flagler. So if you've ever been to Miami, there's Flagler Monument, Flagler Highway, Flagler this, Flagler that. Henry Flagler was a major influence on the development of Miami back in the day. Nowadays, we're relegated to monthly Zoom meetings, but they used to have meetings in person. One of the things I thought was pretty cool that they did is they dressed as women from the 1920s. So they had all the 1920s gear on, and they marched in honor of the 100th year anniversary of the adoption of the 19th Amendment. So the building that the Miami Women's Club is in is called a Monument on the Bay, and it's located on the edge of Biscayne Bay. And again, if you are into architects, etc., it was designed by Argus Geiger, and it was built by F.H. Foster. So again, that is for my historical architect and builder nerds. If you're not into that, probably doesn't mean anything to you. So what type of house is this Monument on the Bay? It is actually a 4-story Mediterranean revival structure, and it is actually on the National Register of Historical Places. Not a shocker, a lot of good history in Miami. And keep in mind, this is all in Edgewater. The building itself features a garden courtyard, decorative ironwork, which is making a comeback lately, arched windows, and a porte cochere. What is a porte cochere? A porte cochere, Portecochere. And here's what it is. Porte cochere. Inside the building is an auditorium, a library, banquet hall, meeting rooms. There's a formal lobby there, elegant decorative fixtures and ornamental chandeliers. It's really, it's quite an amazing place. So for many decades, this facility served both the Miami Women's Club and the community itself as a civic and social meeting type place. And it was the city's main library in 1937. So we're going to lay some history on you. A lot of history buffs out there as well. The Miami Conservatory of Music was housed in this club. It must have been 10 years or so. Now, there is a permanent art gallery of national and international artists that is maintained in the building, and annual school exhibits are displayed in. So during World War II, a portion of the building was given to the Dade County Red Cross for producing medical supplies. We could probably understand that a little bit better in the times we live in now, where there are, mock mortuaries and mock ER rooms taking over stadiums and stuff like that. So honestly, for me anyway, before the times we're in now, those would have just been words, it would have just been some history. But going through what we're going through now, I can connect and understand with what it went through there, making the Red Cross, and letting the Red Cross come in and take over part of that building. So they do have luncheons and dinners, stuff like that, usually for state dignitaries, national leaders, and international figures. Basically, those people that are super important and not you. Or me. Yeah, they don't have any lunches or dinners or events for people like you and me. It's all for the top people. A little bit more about the actual structure of the property for my architecture and building nerds. The original structure of the building, it still remains largely intact in 2021. Although, just like most every building that's 100 years or older, it's underwent some major refurbishments throughout the years. In the 1950s, 1970s, and they're probably getting ready to do another refurbishment. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as well, and we are an older city than Miami, and they always are refurbishing buildings, bridges, museums, etc. It's just a fact of life. All right, so have you hit the subscribe button yet? I'm not gonna harp on you, but make sure you hit the all notifications button as well, because I'll be putting at least one video a week up, and you certainly don't wanna miss it. So the next thing I wanna talk on briefly is the Margaret Pace Park. This is an 8-acre park in Edgewater. Has a basketball court, 2 tennis courts, forehand, backhand. Has a children's playground, which is really cool. An outdoor fitness area, which is, kind of what Florida is known for. It also has a gated dog park, so it has just about everything you need. You want to get outside and get some fitness, you got it. You have kids, not a problem. You want to get your hoops on, not a problem. So you can stick the kids over there, dog over there, get your bicep curls on. Speaking of dog, say hi to my little man, Picasso, purebred French bully. He would love to go to the dog park. So like I said, make sure you call us. I'll grab the dog, we'll go pump some iron. Another thing Edgewater has that is pretty cool is National Young Arts Foundation. Now this is located at 2100 Biscayne Boulevard, and it's only open Mondays through Fridays, 9 to 6. So what the National Young Arts Foundation is all about is they try to cultivate accomplished young artists. So you're not just picking up the flute for the first time. And it's all different disciplines like literary, performing arts, and visual fields. And what it does is it provides them with a creative and professional development opportunities throughout their career. So here is a video that kind of talks a little bit more about what I just said. So let's make sure you understand this. It's not a school. They don't teach people, again, how to play the flute or how to act. It's not a museum. You're not gonna go there to see performances or artistic displays or works, and it does not offer funding or grants, so don't ask them for money. It's very exclusive. They only accept applicants between ages of 15 and 16. Again, let's keep in mind the name of this place is National Young Arts Foundation, so people between 15 and 18 years old or grades 10 through 12, and you must be a US citizen or permanent resident, because again, this is a very exclusive club. They just can't have anybody in there, and they're not looking to cultivate people from out of the country. So when do you apply? When do you stick your application? Well, it's annually from June to October. Go to their site, you will find more information. I just kind of wanted to bring this to your attention because it is cool and it is located in Edgewater. All right, so we talked about a lot of interior stuff, and if you've been watching my Florida videos, you know I like to have a balance of exterior, because again, we're in Florida. There's beautiful weather, kayaking, paddleboarding, boating, fishing, biking, jogging, just about rollerblading, just about every type of outdoor activity you could think of. But it does rain. It does not snow. It does not snow there, but it will rain there. So we need to have a nice balance of interior stuff. So I talked about a bunch of interior stuff in Edgewater that's available. We're going to talk about a couple exterior things now. So Pace Park Island, you could probably understand or draw the correlation to the Margaret Pace Park that I talked about already. This is a little island. I was actually literally just there a week or two before I recorded this video. What it is, and it's even kind of hard to find on Google Maps, is it's literally just a little island. It can't be any more than, it's not even the length of a football field. Or maybe it's right around that length, and it's definitely not as wide as a football field. And there's just it's a beach. There's sand and there's trees on it. What I'm saying is there's no electric on it. There's no habitation on it at all. It's completely uninhabited. I guess because it's so small, and it's in the Biscayne Bay, and it's just off the shores there. And what a lot of us do is some people will run their boat aground, throw anchor. I've seen some people have stereo systems or mobile grills and put it out there and just hang out on the island. And like you may have a friend with a boat, and then you may have a couple friends with jet skis. So like this Margaret Pace Island would be kind of the home base where the boat would be, and they cook out and they take the jet skis out and have all kind of fun. What I did is I took my boat probably 30 or 40 feet from the island, threw anchor, and then my girlfriend and I just kind of hung out in the water and watch the sun goes down behind the city of Miami. It's something you definitely have to check out. Now I recommend, if you have a heavy boat, not some sort of little dinghy type boat, that you're watching your depth finder, because it'll go from 12 feet to 6 feet to 2 feet really quick. So if you're not comfortable or familiar with beaching a boat or getting near it, which, not gonna lie, I may have had a problem or two whenever I was first learning myself. I got the boat to beach it. I tied a rope on the front of the boat and onto a tree, thinking that the boat would not come off the island, but I didn't realize as I was in high tide, and then as the tide lowered, the water went away and the boat was kind of beached. I had to actually have another boater tie a rope on the back of the boat and pull it out. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Every boater has their horror stories. I'm not gonna make this whole video talking about Edgewater with my boat stories. Maybe I'll do a different video. Okay, so you have a puppy like Picasso, my French Bulldog, and you wanna know where to go if you're living in Edgewater. So there's something called Martel Dog Park. Martel, M-A-R-T-E-L-L, Dog Park. This is located on Northeast 36th Street and I-95 East. It's a fenced-in area in the southern part of the park. So parking is kind of limited here. You could find some parking around 5th Street, just off of Northeast 36th Street, but just like any city, parking is going to be tough to find. So if you can get your pup on one of those little scooters that you could rent down there, that's probably the best bet. Okay, so what I want to talk about is the Intercoastal Waterways or Intracoastal Waterways. I'm not quite sure exactly how you say it, but this is Biscayne Bay. And this is what I have already kind of touched on, where a lot of people boat. And you know, what's the advantage of, and this is Edgewater touches Biscayne Bay, which is why it's in this Edgewater video. What's the advantage? You know, why wouldn't you want to go out in the ocean? So I hang out in Biscayne Bay a lot because I don't want to deal with all the waves and all that. We like to throw anchor and listen to music. Heck, sometimes I just go throw anchor and actually work on the boat. So I don't want to be on the getting rocked by the ocean, even if it's low chop. So Biscayne Bay is a nice, quiet, and easy place. And you have, you know, bars, restaurants, little islands to pull up to, and you can just throw anchor and you can actually swim to them if you wanted. So what the actual definition of Biscayne Bay or the Intercoastal Waterway is it's in the North Miami area, and it's there's a small man-made inlet there that leads you from Biscayne Bay, the Intercoastal Waterway, out to the ocean, which I already talked about. There's two of them that I know of. One is Haulover. I'm not quite sure if the other one actually even has a name, but it's all the way down by SoFi, south of 5th, Fisher Island, between Fisher Island and South Beach. That's where the other inlet is. A lot of times when I have guests or whatever on the boat, I get on the boat, we head down to Intercoastal Waterways, throw anchor, hang out there for a while, and then we jet out of one inlet and fly up the ocean and come in the Haulover Inlet. Biscayne Bay itself, I mean, it's surrounded by apartment buildings, various restaurants, sporting clubs. It's home to a small set of docks for boats. It's kind of a shallow inlet. I guess you could say Biscayne Bay is from the Atlantic Ocean. You will see some freight liners. You will see cruise liners. Cruise liners is what I was talking about. So that's a big port for cruise liners to come in and pick up their cargo, etc. Actually, something a little off the cuff of Edgewater is something I learned. If there is one, so there's a channel where the cruise liners go in, and you don't see very many boats in there, like small pleasure craft like mine. If there is one cruise liner tied up, you're allowed to go through that channel on a pleasure boat. If there are two cruise liners in there tied up, docked, pleasure craft are not allowed to go through there. I don't know why. I actually got pulled over by the Miami Boat Police one time, and nothing to do with that, but they actually told me that. And I don't know how you would ever know that. There's no sign or anything that tells you that, but just a little side note. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up talking about the Intercoastal Waters, Biscayne Bay, because again, I could do a whole other video on that, but I just want you to understand that Edgewater touches Biscayne Bay and the advantages of it. But I'm gonna wrap it up with some statistics that I'm gonna read off here. So the Biscayne Bay itself is about 40 miles long, about 10 miles wide, and it covers about 220 square miles, so that's pretty substantial. Good waterway. Highly recommend checking it out, especially whenever you relocate to Edgewater. Okay, let's talk about eats. So one of the first places I want to talk about is Amara at Parisio. So this is going to be a high-end restaurant. Parisio is a development, condo development as well, and they have a restaurant that is actually open to the public that sits kind of on the beach and obviously overlooks the bay. Fantastic area. You could sit inside, you could sit outside. Definitely a good place for a date. I don't recommend going alone because you look like a nerd. I say that because I've done it. So as I mentioned, it's got water view dining. It's got a rooftop deck happy hour. There's of course valet parking because you know you're in Miami, you've got a Rolls Royce or 3. Maybe you want to take your Lambo out, and they have valet for all that. Most all the high-end restaurants do, but Amara definitely does. So what type of cuisine is it? You will find, and whenever I started going to Miami, I learned this a lot. There's a lot of Latin American infused type cuisine, and that's exactly what we have here at Amara. And what I've also learned is Miamian restaurateurs take great pride in creating their dishes from locally sourced farms, food, etc., which is something we don't do in Pittsburgh enough. And they do a lot of what they call scratch cooking. So that means they make it from scratch. So you probably won't find a box of noodles that they have to boil. They make all that shit from with their own 2 hands, original, which elevates the quality. And once one restaurant, high-end restaurant, does it, they all have to do it. And Amara is one of those locally sourced and scratch type restaurants. So for Amara, what they do is they have an open flame, and they just use some simple cooking techniques. Who doesn't love open flame cooking? Raise your hand if you don't love it. Raise your hand if you do love it. I see you raising your hand, so I recommend going there. Herbs are freshly picked daily. Flavored sauces, they're bold. They've got to focus on nuts, grains, vegetables, sprouts, and roasted spit-fired meats and fishes. So we're going to give you that was a little lesson on what the different type of food groups are, I feel like. But anyway, that's what Amara is all about. This open flame, freshly sourced, locally sourced meats, foods, vegetables, etc. Highly recommend it. The ambiance itself is worth it. Oh, they have Amanda Fraga there. Do you know who Amanda Fraga is? I don't either, but she is a dedicated sommelier. Sommelier. If you don't know what a sommelier is, here is the definition. Now you know. Moving on. Mama Leona Bakery and a Pizzeria. So obviously they are a pizzeria. Edgewater has one of the most amazing one in Mama Leone's Bakery and Pizza. I mean, who doesn't? If you don't like carbs, or if you don't, I shouldn't say if you don't like them, everybody likes carbs. If you want to stay away from carbs like I try to stay away from, sorry, Mama Leone, we're not coming to you. However, I did crack and I did go there. With the sensitive times we're in, most of these restaurants, I should mention, do participate with, or you can get their food with Uber Eats and DoorDash. Most of the restaurants are friendly, and this one is as well. So they have some of my favorite coffees, cappuccinos, and espressos. Anything for that afternoon pickup, Mama Leone's Bakery has it. Some other things they have is paninis, pizza squares, and something called focaccias, which I don't know what it is, but we have gone through the painstaking research to pull a picture off the internet of what a focaccia is and put it in my hand. So go to Mama Leone's Bakery and see if this focaccia is for you. Of course, the Italian stuff, lasagna, eggplant parm, cantucci. What? Cantucci? What is cantucci? All right, guys, we will continue to educate you on what some of these things are. You ready? Scour the internet, got a picture of cantucci. This is what cantucci is. Of course, they have a ton of salads, fresh made breads. I mean, when you walk in and you smell that fresh made bread, it will kill any willpower you have of not eating carbs, and you'll fall into that, tomorrow I'll go for a run, or tomorrow I'll start that workout to work this off. At least that's what I say. Goes without saying, Mama Leone's Bakery has sweets and pastries, and you can enjoy some of what they look like here. Now, if you are going there, please call me and let me know you're going, because I want to go with you. Okay, so I'm going to talk about an amazing place. I had an amazing dinner at the Sabor a Peru, S-A-B-O-R-A, Peru. And it was my first time ever having this type of cuisine. The type of cuisine I'm talking about is Peruvian. Get it? Sabor a Peru, Peruvian. It was my first time ever having Peruvian style food. And we got there during the week. I don't remember exactly what day it was, but they closed at 10 and they were running 2 restaurants out of 1 kitchen, and it was packed inside. And keep in mind, this is Miami. It was hot. We decided to eat outside because it was dark. It was late. It must have been 9:15. They actually had, there were people just, instead of going to station to get seated. There was so many people there. People were just sitting down. I mean, like, this is my table. You know, go ahead and move me if you want. But we got a seat outside, and we got some Peruvian food. And thank God my girlfriend understands what these ingredients are. I had an amazing meal. I ate mine and half of hers, and I wanted to go back the next night, but she wouldn't let me. Amazing place. They were turning people away at 10 p.m. So the location is right on Biscayne Boulevard. Biscayne Boulevard is super long, a lot of places on Biscayne. So again, this is in Edgewater. So the address, if you're interested, is 2927 Biscayne Boulevard, and Biscayne Boulevard's pretty long with a bunch of places packed in there. So Biscayne Bay is very common for restaurants like this. Oh, Sabor is open every day. They've got everything you need. Dine in, pickup, delivery, super smart. So something that I found interesting on TripAdvisor whenever I was looking this place up to go there to eat is some people have said that they added a 18% gratuity without telling them, you know, you got to be careful what you read or some of these people say on these reviews. It may have been a large party of like 10, 20, 30, 50 people, and most of the time they add their gratuity on there. So I wouldn't say it's Sabor trying to rip anybody off by adding a gratuity and not telling you. But that's all I have for Sabor Peru. It's not a high-end place. It's definitely a shorts and flip-flop type of place, but I highly recommend checking it out, whether you've had Peruvian fare or not. Okay, so one of my favorite places I've been going to is the Daily Creative. I've been stopping there ever since I've been going to Miami for the last 3 years, I would say. Why is that? So when I go to Miami, anywhere, what I like to do is get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, go on a jog, and then I like to eat a little bit healthy, you know, like a fruit bowl, fruit salad, a protein shake, and or oatmeal, and one of my favorites is yogurt with granola on it, and the Daily Creative has all of that. So what I end up doing a lot of times, I go out for a run, and unless it's, you know, January or December, it's usually hot already by 8 a.m. Go on a 3-mile run, end my run there, and I'm usually so hungry that I get all those things, and they usually last me throughout the whole day. But the Daily Creative has amazing salads. I've gotten salads there before. If you make eye contact with the dessert display, you'll probably get eaten up. It'll kill you. There's a lot of good desserts there as well. Red velvet brownies, fresh made chocolate chip cookies, and these guys are hustlers. They have like 2 or 3 registers there, and they're always taking orders, so the line's usually pretty small unless you get there at 12 o'clock when everybody goes for lunch. They may be a little overloaded there. They have tables inside, but the tables outside seem to be super popular. Although I've got to tell you, it's by no means a bad area, but every time I'm there sitting outside, there will be some homeless people walking by, but it's not that immediate area or that restaurant. It's just that downtown Miami. You will have they have a decent amount of homeless people trolling in and out, but they never bother me. They don't bother you or anything like that. Again, you're gonna have homeless people in every intercity, but the Daily Creative is where it's at. Dine-in, takeout, delivery, and catering. 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and you can order online or through their app. Okay, so another place that I like not quite as much as the Daily Creative, and only because the Daily Creative has this extensive menu, and they're just a bigger place, is the Hideout Cafe, Team Vinci. So I don't understand the name. I've done a lot of research and I couldn't really come and figure it out. We did go there. I actually went there multiple times. Again, I went for my jog, came back and ended there. Amazing chocolate peanut butter protein shake. They have places you could sit outside. So this place is an establishment. They're actually concerned with community development, eco-friendly, healthy lifestyle. They actually have some sort of shakes that they have pre-workout, where you can have a shake before you go and work out, whether you're jogging or lifting weights. And then they have stuff which was post-workout. That's actually what kind of caught my attention whenever I was looking this place up. I was like, oh, okay, you know, I like to jog whenever I'm out of town. So I didn't get a pre-workout, but I did go after and get the post-workout rebuild protein shake or whatever it was. Absolutely amazing. But I also, again, these dessert cabinets kill me. They have these huge, freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. My girlfriend is also a sugar sort of semi-addict, so we got a whole bunch of them and took them home with us. It was amazing. But they are interested in community development, eco-friendly, healthy lifestyles for the Edgewater residents. So sometimes they even have guest chefs and local nutritionists come through. I haven't had the opportunity to experience that, but that's something that's pretty cool. I mean, how often do you see that? Oh, so the menu, I'm not gonna go over the menu, but my girlfriend loved the avocado toast. I deviated one time and got it from somewhere else, and she was PO to me. So avocado toast is amazing. I got the shakes, the protein shakes. They have a variety of coffees, teas, and of course smoothies. So that is the Hideout Cafe, Team Vinci. Again, this is all in Edgewater, so I highly recommend it. Okay, so you think Miami, you think condos. So we're gonna talk about condos in Edgewater. The first one we're gonna talk about is Parisio Bay Residences. Now, the actual location of this is 650 Northeast 32nd Street. And the building is a 55-story bayfront building that was just finished in 2018, which, I mean, that's now 3 years ago, but it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, especially since it takes, 5 years for them to build these type of buildings. So what type of units do they offer? They offer 1 to 4 bedrooms, 400,000 all the way up to $3 million. Smallest being 706 square feet, the largest being just over 2,800 square feet. Average price per square foot is around $726, and there ended up being about 346 units. So a little bit about the developers. It was developed by the Related Group, and you are going to hear me throughout my Florida vlogging career bring up the Related Group. They do a lot of development. It was actually designed by world-renowned architecture firm Architectonica. That's a very hard one to actually say, and you're going to hear me say that again on other buildings. Architectonica. So it's ARQUITECT, Architect, and then Onica, ONICA. I don't know why I spelled that for you. I just thought it was kind of interesting, and since it was so hard for me to say, and I even reviewed it a couple of times, Architectonica, I wanted to review it a couple of times with you. So go ahead and say it back to me 3 times. Once, twice, 3 times. Good job. Architectonica. We're never going to forget it. Related Group, Architectonica. Sometimes what they do is they have somebody a little more designer design the lobby area and common spaces. So for instance, they had Keith Hobbs of the United Design Partnership designed the lobby of Parisio Bay. I'm also I did a video on Aquilina, and they had the lobby area designed by Carl Lagerfelter. He's since passed away, but he was actually a clothing designer, and they had him do the lobby, which is pretty cool. So not uncommon in these Miami condo buildings. So we're gonna give a shout out to the landscape designer, and you might be thinking, listen, if you're sitting in Arkansas, what in the hell is a landscape designer? You have to understand when you come to Florida, specifically Miami, things are a little bit different. So they actually have a landscape designer. And another thing I want to talk about is they have the mosaicist in Miami, and this company designs pools, because pools are big in Miami and Florida with all these mosaic type of tiles, and they can do custom designs and stuff like that. Totally separate from the Parisio Bay that I'm talking about here at Edgewater, but I just wanted to point that out. So they do have landscape specialists, landscape designers, and the guy that did this place is Enzo Enia. Probably gonna hear that name as well in the future. So something interesting about Parisio Bay is they feature private elevator foyers, 9-foot high ceilings, floor-to-ceiling glass windows. Now, the floor-to-ceiling glass windows is a common thing of modern day designed Miami condos, because you want to maximize the view of the city life or the bay or the ocean or all that stuff. Penthouses will sometimes have views of all that stuff. The penthouse residences have the floor-to-ceiling windows actually 10 feet high, so that's probably double the height of view, or close to double the height. That's pretty amazing. There is nothing else but glass windows. The penthouses will have 2 walk-in closets, in-unit washer and dryers, and wide private balconies with glass railings. So that's another thing with these floor-to-ceiling windows in Miami condos. They also have these big balconies. Well, you hope they have a big balcony, and they all have the glass railing, so you could sit there, on your chair drinking your vino and just stare out and not have your view obstructed by bars or whatever. It's glass, pretty popular. So what about the views of does Parisio have to offer? They have sweeping views of the water of the bay. That is which bay? Biscayne Bay, and the Miami Beach skyline, which is, that's like a postcard image, to be honest with you. Okay, so some of the amenities are private gated complex. It's close to 5 acres, this site. 500 feet of water frontage on Biscayne Bay, which is a big deal. It's exquisitely appointed, double volume entrance lobbies leading directly to these private elevators for each residence that I was talking about. So they have a over 3 acre resort style amenities deck. Now on this amenities deck is this super dramatic circular 0 entry heated swimming pool. Of course, they've got the outdoor spa, poolside cabanas, summer kitchen area, They even have a jogging circuit. Now that's right up my alley, a jogging circuit. They also have gardens and a beautifully landscaped sun terrace. These are some of the finer things you're looking for in a luxury condo building. So they have a health spa with men and women steam and sauna facilities. State of the art. It's fully equipped fitness center, cardio theater, and a lot of these things overlook the pool deck or resort area, look out onto the water, so you can kind of take your mind off of your running. You can just let your mind wander and let the miles click by while you're watching, people come to the pool, etc. Most of these places have some sort of elegant club room with billiards. They have a catering kitchen. The reason why they have that is if you want to have a bar mitzvah or a birthday party, a graduation party, whatever, you can have it with a kitchen and all that stuff. There is a wine cellar with a tasting salon. Jeeves, can you bring my wine? I will be in the tasting salon. So they do have that. Parisio Bay and Edgewater. They have a private screening room with state-of-the-art AV equipment, theater-style seating. Of course, you have to have a children's playroom. Now this will have direct access to the kiddie pool with an interactive kind of water-type playground. Don't worry, teens, we got you covered. We have a game room with multimedia facilities just for the teens. Now, if you are a teen that likes to smoke cigars, we have a cigar room as well. I'm just kidding. There is a cigar room, but it's not for the teens. Don't get all upset. Teens will be in the teen room, take care of themselves. You ladies and gentlemen like to smoke cigars, there is a private cigar lounge with your own humidor. Imagine that. So of course it has a bayfront beach club. There is a sand beach area there with a private pool, a lounge area for private events. There's even a marina with private slips, on-demand service for rental of speedboats, aquatic toys, personal watercrafts, windsurfing, canoeing, paddleboarding, jet skiing, anything related to the water they have access to. There is a tennis center. It's got 2 lighted tennis courts and a multi-purpose court. There are things like pickleball and squash and badminton that maybe you could use on the multi-purpose court. So it does have 24 valet parking, and just like most places in Miami, there is art throughout the whole common area. So the next condo building I want to talk about is a condo building I actually physically showed some property in, and that is Icon Bay. So Icon Bay Condominium Association, it's incorporated and it's physically located at 480 Northeast 28th Street. Now this is a 40-story bayfront building, and it was completed in 2015, so just a little bit older than Parisio Bay. Anybody want to take a guess who it was developed by? That's right, the Related Group. Anybody want to guess what world-renowned architects designed it? Architectonica, that's right, that's why I had you practice saying it 3 times earlier, so you could follow along with me, Architectonica. Again, like I said, you're going to hear these 2 names a lot in these condo building developments. So this one is a little smaller than Parisio Bay. Parisio Bay had 346 condos. This one only has 300. And again, it's from 1 bedroom all the way up to 4 bedroom units. Now there are 8 units per floor, which I think is a great indicator of the size. If you had 2 units per floor, obviously it'd be much bigger units, but if you're packing in 8, the units cannot be all that big. So you might be saying, well, how big are they, Brian? Well, they start at 928 square feet, which is really not that small. I mean, there are some ranch houses I've experienced in Pittsburgh, they're only 1,000 square feet, and they go all the way up to just over 1,500 square feet, which is pretty similar to Parisio Bay. 9-foot high ceilings, floor to ceiling window glass, as I mentioned before. The Icon Bay has that pretty standard thing. Private elevators, balcony accessible from the living and bedroom, which I thought was cool whenever I showed places there. Views of Biscayne Bay, Miami Beach skyline, same as the Parisio Bay, in-unit washer and dryer. Now these units, the least expensive one you can come across is $430,000, and the most expensive one is going to be $3.8 million. So all the units come with at least 1 parking spot, which is nice to know. Pet policy. So what is the pet policy? Everybody has a pet or is going to have a pet. So the owners and renters, you can have renters in this building, can have no more than 2 dogs with a weight restriction. Now, of course, they've got to be registered with the state of Florida. You can't just have, wild giraffe or wild dog come in, they're unregistered. They've got to also be registered with the Homeowners Association, the HOA, and it's got to be legal in the county. So again, you can't have some sort of wild dog that might bring in malaria or whatever, or has a tendency of eating small children. So it's got to be, normal dog, lab, Frenchie, Pomeranian. I'm not sure if you can get into like a German Shepherd. You probably have to have the HOA approve that. Cool thing is, there's no pet fee. So when it comes to amenities, it's gonna have the same as Parisio Bay, Infinity Edge pool, water sports, outdoor tennis courts, all that same stuff, water sports, jet ski abilities and paddle boarding and all that. Theater room is also there. Okay, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that and get the all notifications. We're gonna talk about our last building, which is Elysium, E-L-S-Y-E-E, Elysium. Physically located 788 Northeast 23rd Street. So the building itself is walking distance to that Margaret Pace Park, which I talked about a couple minutes earlier. That's the one with kiddie park, dog park, basketball court, fitness, outdoor fitness, etc. So, and it's all bayfront, right on the Biscayne Bay. That's pretty much at Edgewater. A couple of minutes from Midtown Miami, just to give you some sort of geographic idea. You know, by car, Elysium is about 7 minutes from the Miami Design District. The Miami Design District, well, I'm gonna do a video on it, but just for those of you that don't know, it's about art and luxury shopping, clothing, etc. So it's 7 minutes from there. Wynwood, the Wynwood Walls, I'm gonna do a video about that as well. It's a very artistic type of town where they have all these professionally done street murals on buildings. Really cool. It's about 15 minutes from Brickell. Brickell is where it's at. Clubs, high-end dining, high-end condos, etc. And it's about 15 minutes also from South Beach. I don't have to talk to you about South Beach. You know what that is. It's right across the bridge over the bay. And I'd say about 18 minutes from the Miami International Airport. So pretty good geographics. So this building is way more exclusive. There's only 100 residences and 57 floors. How else do you know it's exclusive? Well, the price range starts at $2.8 million and goes all the way up to just under 4 million, 3.89. Now this building isn't even done. They're predicting that it's going to be done this year. This year is 2021. I've actually been staying at some places in Edgewater and I've been watching it go up. So it's going pretty quickly. Average cost per square foot is $961. You know, the units range from 2660 in size to just under 4,000 square feet. Now, since it is exclusive, there's less bedrooms, a higher price point. They're doing away with 1 and 2 bedrooms. So what that does is cut people like me out, because I would only want a 1 or 2 bedroom because that's all I can afford. So it's going to be a little bit more exclusive of a building. It is developed by somebody other than the related group, Two Roads Development. But guess what? Guess who designed the building? That's right, Architectonica has designed the building. Architectonica, Architectonica, Architectonica. I feel really comfortable saying that. I actually hope I'm saying that right. So if you work for Architectonica and I'm saying it incorrectly, please don't correct me. So each unit has its own private elevator, which seems to be kind of a running theme here, and 2 parking spots. So you can see the difference when you get into the little more exclusive condo buildings versus the other one. So some of the amenities is a 70-foot resort pool. They of course have an outdoor summer kitchen and barbecue terrace, typical fitness center, but this one actually has a gym reception. So there's a receptionist there kind of controlling the gym, which is going to be pretty cool. Keep things a little, I don't know, cleaner, neater, people well behaved, whatever. So it also has a yoga studio. I'm a little rusty on my yoga. Men and women's spa and sauna, steam shower, private massage rooms. It has a blow dry bar. Never heard of a blow dry bar? It is a bar where there are blow dryers and you can blow dry your hair. Let's say you're going on a date and you want to go back to your unit. You've got a bunch of girlfriends that have come over to see you and there's enough blow dryer space, enough outlets in your unit. Send them to the blow dryer bar. And of course there is a children's room. Now that is the 7th floor amenities. There is something called a 30th floor amenities, and these amenities are going to be quite different. First one that kind of takes your breath away is this great room with grand piano. Unobstructed views of Biscayne Bay and downtown Miami with a grand piano. Now I don't know who plays it, but I know it sure as hell isn't going to be me. South-facing grand dining room. This place seats up to, I think, 30 people with all kind of wine coolers around. So you can see the difference in amenities, a little less physical, demanding amenities here. It also has a library. Now this library is unique in the fact that it converts into a private theater with a high definition 4K projector. So pretty smart to have a room that could be 2 things at 2 different times. It's got a full lounge, chef's kitchen, chef's table, indoor outdoor seating, a business center if you really still need a business center, It has a resident wine storage, which, you know, in a lot of these higher end restaurants, you will see like a wine locker, so to speak. So it kind of has that as well. And the last thing it has is a game room. Okay, so that was a lot to take in, but Edgewater has a lot to offer. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Again, hit the subscribe button, click on all notifications. I tried to cover the gamut, what to do, where to buy. And if you're gonna buy something, make sure you contact me, Brian Sells Miami, and different type of eating places as well. So that is the Edgewater video. Stay tuned. Make sure you like and comment if you have anything to say at all. And stay tuned for the Wynwood video, which I have already created. It's just a matter of getting it on the video, and then after that we're probably going to touch into the design district and then the cost of living in Wynwood Design District, Brickell, and Edgewater. All right, thanks for tuning in.